Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kami dari kelompok 5 ingin mempresentasikan tentang materi Inside Job. Sebelum itu, perkenalkan, nama saya Mira Fazimir Aulia dan rekan saya.
Nama saya Kamsal Mazira.
Nama saya Sidi Febrianti.
Dan saya Regita Nuragunia.
Materi yang akan kita bawakan yang pertama, ringkasan singkat tentang film Inside Job. Yang kedua, ada analisis singkat isu tata kelola dan risiko dalam film Inside Job. Yang ketiga, peran regulator dalam film Inside Job. Yang keempat, pelajaran penting bagi sektor keuangan di Indonesia.
Dan yang terakhir adalah kaitan relevan antara film Inside Job dengan nilai-nilai valuasi.
Oke, jadi yang pertama di sini saya akan membacakan ringkasan singkat film Inside Job dengan identifikasi lembaga keuangan. Jadi dari film Inside Job ini menjelaskan penyebab terjadinya krisis keuangan global pada tahun 2008 di Amerika Serikat. Yang dipicu oleh deregulasi, keserakahan, dan lemahnya pengawasan sistem keuangan di Amerika Serikat. Pada saat itu, bank-bank besar menciptakan produk keuangan yang beresiko seperti MBS dan CDO berbasis perumahan kredit seperti subprime. Ketika kredit macet meningkat, sistem keuangan global runtuh dan berdampak luas pada perekonomian di dunia. Selanjutnya yaitu lembaga keuangan yang terlibat meliputi bank investasi, bank komersial, lembaga pemeringkat kredit yang memberikan peringkat tinggi terhadap produk beresiko, serta pemerintah dan regulator yang gagal dalam melakukan pengawasan. Jadi, film ini menegaskan bahwa terjadi akibat kegagalan sistemik dan perlunya regulasi serta etika yang lebih kuat.
Academics quietly make fortunes while helping the financial industry shape public debate and government policy. The Analysis Group, Charles River Associates, Compass Lexicon, and the Law and Economics Consulting Group manage a multi-billion-dollar industry that provides academic experts for hire. Two bankers who used these services were Ralph Ciaffi and Matthew Tannen. Bear Stearns hedge fund managers prosecuted for securities fraud. After hiring the Analysis Group, both were acquitted. Glenn Hubbard was paid $100,000 to testify in their defense.
Do you think that the economics discipline has a conflict of interest problem?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Do you think that a significant fraction of the economics discipline, number of economists, have financial conflicts of interest that in some way might call into question or color?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I doubt it. Most academic economists, aren't wealthy business people.
Hubbard makes $250,000 a year as a board member of MetLife and was formerly on the board of Capmark, a major commercial mortgage lender during the bubble, which went bankrupt in 2009. He has also advised Nomura Securities, KKR Financial Corporation, and many other financial firms. Laura Tyson, who declined to be interviewed for this film, is a professor at the University of California, Berkeley. She was the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors and then director of the National Economic Council in the Clinton administration. Shortly after leaving government, she joined the board of Morgan Stanley, which pays her $350,000 a year. Ruth Simmons, the president of Brown University, makes over $300,000 a year on the board of Goldman Sachs. Larry Summers, who as Treasury Secretary played a critical role in the deregulation of derivatives, became president of Harvard in 2001. While at Harvard, he made millions consulting to hedge funds and millions more in speaking fees, much of it from investment banks. According to his federal disclosure report, Summers' net worth is between $16.5 million and $39.5 million.
Yang kedua, ada analisis singkat isu tata kelola dan resiko dalam film Inside Job. Film Inside Job menunjukkan kelemahan tata kelola keuangan akibat kepentingan, deregulasi, dan lemahnya pengawasan. Kedekatan antara bank, lembaga pemerintah, akademisi, dan pemerintah membuat kebijakan tidak objektif, sehingga minim akuntabilitas. Produk keuangan dibuat tanpa transparansi, sehingga eksekutif tetap meraihnya tanpa memikirkan risiko yang tinggi. Film Inside Job ini menunjukkan risiko kredit dari pinjaman subprime, risiko pasar akibat perumahan, serta risiko sistematik karena keterkaitan lembaga keuangan global. Bailout pemerintah memicu moral hazard, sehingga krisis di 2008 mencerminkan kegagalan tata kelola serta manajemen risiko.
took home $485 million.
On Wall Street, this housing and credit bubble was leading to hundreds of billions of dollars of profits. By 2006, about 40% of all profits of S&P 500 firms was coming from financial institutions.
It wasn't real profits, it wasn't real income, it was just money that was being created by the system and booked as income 2-3 years down the road. There's a default, it's all wiped out. I think it was, in fact, in retrospect, a great big national, and not just national, global Ponzi scheme.
Through the Home Ownership and Equity Protection Act, the Federal Reserve Board had broad authority to regulate the mortgage industry. But Fed Chairman Alan Greenspan refused to use it.
Alan Greenspan said, no, that's regulation. Ideologically, I don't believe in it.
For 20 years, Robert Gnizda was the head of Greenlining, a powerful consumer advocacy group. He met with Greenspan on a regular basis.
We gave him an example of countrywide and 150 different complex adjustable rate mortgages. He said, if you had a doctorate in math, you wouldn't be able to understand them enough to know which was good for you and which wasn't. So we thought he was going to take action. But as the conversation continued, it was clear he was stuck with his ideology. We met again with Greenspan in 2005. Often we met with him twice a year, and never less than once a year. And he wouldn't change his mind.
In this amazing world of instant global communications, the free and efficient movement of capital is helping to create the greatest prosperity in human history.
Peran regulator dalam film Inside Out. Dalam film Inside Out, peran regulator seperti Fed, terus Security Exchange Commission, dan Departemen Keuangan Amerika Serikat memiliki peran penting menjaga stabilitas sistem keuangan. Namun, peran tersebut tidak dijalankan secara optimal dalam film tersebut karena pada saat deregulasi sistem keuangan, kurangnya pengawasan terhadap sistem lembaga keuangan, sehingga bank-bank besar bebas mengambil risiko tinggi melalui produk keuangan yang kompleks. Regulator juga digambarkan memiliki hubungan erat kepada industri keuangan, yang dimana pejabatnya berasal dari bank investasi besar. Hal ini menimbulkan konflik kepentingan dan melemahkan independensi regulator dalam membuat kebijakan. Ketika krisis sistem keuangan tahun 2008, regulator menjadi penyelamat bagi bank besar, yaitu dengan cara menggunakan dana publik untuk mencegah keruntuhan sistem keuangan. Namun, minimnya sanksi bagi pelaku utama dan lemahnya penegakan hukum menunjukkan bahwasannya regulator dalam film ini menjadi penyebab utama krisis sistem keuangan.
After the Great Depression, the United States had 40 years of economic growth without a single financial crisis. The financial industry was tightly regulated. Most regular banks were local businesses, and they were prohibited from speculating with depositors' savings. Investment banks, which handled stock and bond trading, were small private partnerships.
In the traditional investment banking partnership model, the partners put the money up. And obviously, the partners watched that money very carefully. They wanted to live well, but they didn't want to bet the ranch on anything.
Paul Volcker served in the Treasury Department and was chairman of the Federal Reserve from 1979 to 1987. Before going into government, he was a financial economist at Chase Manhattan Bank.
When I left Chase to go in the Treasury in 1969, I think my income was in the neighborhood of $45,000 a year.
$45,000 a year.
Morgan Stanley in 1972 had approximately 110 total personnel, one office, and capital of $12 million. Now, Morgan Stanley has 50,000 workers and has capital of several billion and has offices all over the world.
In the 1980s, the financial industry exploded. The investment banks went public, giving them huge amounts of stockholder money. people on Wall Street started getting rich.
I had a friend who was a bond trader at Merrill Lynch in the 1970s. He had a job as a train conductor at night because he had 3 kids and couldn't support them on what a bond trader made. By 1986, he was making millions of dollars and thought it was because he was smart.
Pelajaran penting bagi sektor keuangan di Indonesia dalam film Inside Job. Yang pertama, pentingnya regulasi dan pengawasan yang ketat. Dari film Inside Job menegaskan bahwa deregulasi dan pengawasan yang lemah dapat mendorong lembaga keuangan mengambil resiko yang berlebihan. Yang kedua, menjaga independensi regulator. Hubungan terlalu dekat antara regulator dengan pelaku industri dapat menimbulkan konflik kepentingan. Yang ketiga, pengelolaan risiko yang prudent. Praktik pemberian kredit harus tetap mengedepankan prinsip-prinsip kehati-hatian. Yang keempat, transparansi dan tata kelola yang baik. Kurangnya transparansi produk keuangan menjadi pelaku utama dalam krisis global. Dan yang terakhir, pencegahan moral hazard. Penyelamatan lembaga keuangan tanpa sanksi tegas dapat memicu perilaku spekulatif.
Robert Gneizda met with Ben Bernanke and the Federal Reserve Board 3 times after Bernanke became chairman.
Only at the last meeting did he suggest that there was a problem and that the government ought to look into it.
When was that? What year?
It's 2009, March 11th in D.C.
This year?
This year we met, yes.
And so for the 2 previous years you met him, even in 2008?
Yes.
One of the 6 Federal Reserve Board governors serving under Bernanke was Frederick Mishkin, who was appointed by President Bush in 2006.
Did you participate in these semi-annual meetings that Robert Gneizda and Greenlining had with the Federal Reserve Board?
Yes, I did. I was actually on the committee that was involved with the Consumer and Community Affairs Committee.
He warned in an extremely explicit manner about what was going on, and he came to the Federal Reserve Board with loan documentation of the kind of loans that were frequently being made, and he was listened to politely and nothing was done.
Right. So I don't know the details in terms of in fact, I just don't, whatever information he provided, I'm not sure exactly. It's actually, to be honest with you, I can't remember this kind of discussion, but certainly there were issues that were coming up. But then the question is, how pervasive are they?
Why didn't you try looking?
I think that people did. We have people looking. We had a whole group of people looking at this for whatever reason.
Excuse me, you can't be serious. If you would have looked, you would have found things.
You know, that's very, very easy to always say that you can always find it.
As early as 2004, the FBI was already warning about an epidemic of mortgage fraud. They reported inflated appraisals, doctored loan documentation, and other fraudulent activity. In 2005, the IMF's chief economist, Raghuram Rajan, warned that dangerous incentives could lead to a crisis. Then came Nouriel Roubini's warnings in 2006, Alan Sloan's articles in Fortune magazine and the Washington Post in 2007, and repeated warnings from the IMF.
I say that on behalf of the institution, the crisis which is in front of us is a huge crisis.
Who did you talk to?
The government, Treasury, Fed, everybody.
In May of 2007, hedge fund manager Bill Ackman circulated a presentation called Who's Holding the Bag, which described how the bubble would unravel. And in early 2008, Charles Morris published his book about the impending crisis.
You're just not sure, what do you do? And you might have some suspicions that underwriting standards are being weakened, but then the question is, should you do anything about it?
By 2008, home foreclosures were skyrocketing, and the securitization food chain imploded. Lenders could no longer sell their loans to the investment banks, and as the loans went bad, dozens of lenders failed.
Chuck Prince of Citibank famously said that we have to dance until the music stops. Actually, the music had stopped already when he said that.
The market for CDOs collapsed, leaving the investment banks holding hundreds of billions of dollars in loans, CDOs, and real estate they couldn't sell.
When the crisis started, both the Bush administration and the Federal Reserve were totally behind the curve. They did not understand the extent of it.
At what point do you remember thinking for the first time, this is dangerous, this is bad?
I remember very well I think it was a G7 meeting of February 2008, and I remember discussing the issue with Hank Paulson, and I clearly remember telling Hank, we are watching this tsunami coming, and you just proposing that we ask which swimming costume we're going to put on.
What was his response? What was his feeling?
Things are pretty much under control. Yes, we are looking at this situation carefully, and yeah, it's under control.
We're going to keep growing, okay? And obviously, I'll say it: if you're growing, you're not in recession, right? I mean, we all know that.
In a matter of days, one of the pillars of Wall Street...
In March of 2008, the investment bank Bear Stearns ran out of cash and was acquired for $2 a share by J.P. Morgan Chase. The deal was backed by $30 billion in emergency guarantees from the Federal Reserve.
That was the time when the administration could have come in and put in place various kinds of measures that would have reduced system risk.
Film Inside Job menggambarkan tentang krisis keuangan global yang terjadi pada tahun 2008 yang disebabkan oleh lemahnya sistem pengawasan, kegagalan manajemen risiko, dan konflik kepentingan. Kondisi-kondisi inilah yang ingin dicegah oleh pihak P2SK terjadi di Indonesia. Berikut kaitan relevan antara film Inside Job dengan nilai-nilai P2SK atau penguatan dan pengembangan sektor keuangan. Yang pertama, film Inside Job menunjukkan lemahnya sistem regulasi dan pengawasan terhadap lembaga keuangan. Hadirnya P2SK dapat memperkuat sistem regulasi dan pengawasan antar lembaga keuangan seperti OJK, LPS, dan Bank Indonesia. Yang kedua, film ini menyoroti tata kelola yang buruk dan konflik kepentingan. P2SK menekankan tata kelola yang baik, transparansi, dan integritas agar tidak merugikan stabilitas keuangan dan kepentingan masyarakat. Yang ketiga, film ini menunjukkan risiko antar lembaga keuangan. P2SK relevan karena dapat melakukan pencegahan dan penanganan terhadap krisis keuangan. Salah satunya yaitu perlindungan terhadap stabilitas keuangan agar kegagalannya tidak berdampak secara luas.
Sekian presentasi dari kami. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.